from scratch with fresh ingredients. It's one of my favorite holiday meals. And okay, so I have been wanting to recreate green bean casserole from scratch with fresh ingredients. It's one of my favorite holiday meals, and low-key, I am super offended that the only way, oh, this is not what I want. The only way to seemingly get the crispy onions is buying into fucking French's franchise. Corporate bullshit. It feels like buying Lay's, which I haven't done in a very long time. And probably will never do. I used to put Lay's in my ramen because I liked the salt upon salt of it all. And what I used to do with ramen was make it up in such a way without the broth. I would crush the noodles into bits before adding just enough water for it to absorb fully in like a 1-to-1 ratio fashion. And then I would just have this like ramen, what's it called? I mean, I don't even know what to call that, but I would just have this like non-brothy ramen stuff, and I would take Pringles and like scoop the chicken ramen, the highly flavored chicken ramen without the broth. The flavoring goes like insanely high, which is why I liked it. But yeah, I would take that chicken ramen and scoop it up with Pringles and eat it. And I would usually eat like a quarter of a tube of Pringles. But if Pringles weren't available, I would use Lay's. They had less structural integrity, so they didn't hold ramen quite as well. But still pretty good. Where is the cornstarch? Put it up here now. Did I move it? Why do I have so many empty things? Jars. I have become the jar collecting lady. Ah, dread. I always knew that would happen to me. Here's my cornstarch. So yeah, salty, yummy, high flavor, intense. Oh, I guess I kind of got distracted with the Lay's and French's thing, but yeah, kind of offensive that around the holiday season you go to the store, at least in America, at least at your average grocery store, and you're trying to get crunchy onion, and all you can get is this like, ooh, somebody did not wash this air fryer. Wow. Well, there had to be a first time. I didn't remember. And all you can find is French's. And if it's not French's, then it's some super fancy brand that is marketing itself as not French's, and you have to pay like an extra several dollars. I saw what had to have been barely 3 ounces of crunchy onion for $7 at Safeway yesterday, and I was just like, fuck this. Absolutely fuck this. We have the time. We are going to make our own crunchy onions because, oh my god, I love crunchy onion. So, yes, air fryer. Let's go. This actually should be pretty accessible for anyone, regardless of what kind of time constraints you have. I think the biggest hurdle is going to be learning it. After that, it should be as easy as the popcorn tofu, because it's pretty much the same recipe. I didn't look it up. I'm just going to treat it like popcorn tofu, and we're going to see how that goes. Oh, all these these rubber things. Just to pull off the guards. Okay. Yeah, so crunchy onion. And then the other thing about all of this is, of course, the actual stuff that goes into green bean casserole. Now, green bean casserole is usually made with canned green beans. And there's a reason for that. It's a very different texture. I know in the past I have attempted to make it from scratch, and the texture of fresh green beans was just really not appetizing in the same way. So this time I'm hoping to cook the green beans down so much that the texture breaks down, because that's obviously like a cellular wall type of thing. Plant cells, plant walls. So maybe if I cook it enough, it'll stop having a weird texture, essentially. I still think that the freshness is worth the trade-off as far as like canned versus fresh. I know cooking does maximize nutrition sometimes, but sometimes it makes it less nutritious. But I still think it'll be more nutritious than the canned version, and just better for my tummy. So we're gonna do that. And as far as the cream of mushroom soup goes, I was just gonna make a mushroom and onion gravy, essentially, much like the roux we made the other night. So that is the plan. Now let's get an onion. Crunchy onion, crunchy onion. We're gonna need more than one onion. Oh yeah, you might want to see this, huh? Just maybe. Might be relevant to you. Yeah. Been using red onion for a really long time for everything, and the last like few batches of red onion that I've gotten have been really not, they've been like really close to being bad. So we're switching to white onion for now, and it just, I think it feels right for the season. I think that was the problem, is the red onion was just kind of out of season. But I don't know, do onions have seasons in the same way? Truly, I'm a bad environmentalist, aren't I? No, it's okay. Just learning, and there are only so many things you can Google in a day. Very tiny. Yep. Thin bits. I'm just going to assume it'll be easier to crunchify if these are in small, thin strips. Of course, I guess if it's too thin, it might. Oh God, my eyes. Oh no. It doesn't want to die. It doesn't want to die. It's like, please stop cutting me. I don't want to die. You were already dead. It just took you a really long time to notice. Sorry, onion. But I'm going to eat you. Oh, God. Oh, it does not want to get ate. Ugh. Weeping. Positively weeping. Is this my empathy activating? No, that's way too tinfoil hat, right? Who's tired of me saying that? Me. It's me, I'm tired of I don't know. I just don't want giant pieces. Pretty good. Wow. Oh yeah, white onion was the call. I'm sure I've said this before, but because I do tend to repeat myself. Oh, but I once had an argument with a friend about onions because I was like, oh, red onion. And he was like, every kind of onion, Cozy. We love all onions. I'm like, well, yeah, but I was talking specifically about red onion. But every time I work with something that isn't a red onion, I am reminded of that conversation because I really do enjoy every onion. I used to hate onions. I used to hate onions so much. I would never eat them. I've grown. I've changed as a person on a level that feels very fundamental. Oh, God. All right. Yes. Still wish we composted around here. Can't have it all. I'm gonna start sneaking over to the neighbor's house and dumping my compost into their composters. See if I don't. Oh. Oh, wow. Okay. So what do we usually do? We do, it's like 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, 3 tablespoons of seasoning, and some sauce or oil, or both. Yeah, and since we get to decide a lot of these flavoring decisions, we will use soy. And generally the same stuff as we do for the popcorn tofu, because why not? These are our crunchy onions. We are colonizing this recipe back from French's. Because fuck you, French's. Dominating the crunchy onion market. Absolutely unacceptable. All right, now let's definitely make sure we get some garlic powder in there. Oh yeah. Let's do mustard, since I love mustard and this is a recolonization. So in the hyperbole of colonizing French's crunchy onion situation, we can take the mustard back too. And yeah, you know I like sesame. If we're gonna include soy, we might as well include sesame. I think usually we do tahini too, but I think this time we won't. Is it 1 or is it 3? Now I'm just completely second guessing myself. I'm like, did I just do way too much of everything? I mean, I'm not going to complain about too much flavor, probably. That's not usually. Oh, hey, green bean casserole. Who wrote this down? Butter, garlic, mushrooms, homemade seasoned salt, green bean shallots, extra virgin olive oil. This must have been my sister. It looks like her handwriting. So it looks like we've done this before. Which, like, yeah, we have. chicken and broccoli, shredded beef, cauliflower party. Okay, none of this is the popcorn tofu. I thought it was in dinner. Was it in lunch? Oh, it's in lunch. Okay, no, it is 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. Okay, wow, just had a minute of like extremely second guessing myself, but luckily I wrote it down. Something like that. Let's start with that. Oh, corn. You wonderful, wonderful grain. That's 3 tablespoons of oil. What's up, girlfriend? You want to go outside? Yeah. It's a good day. Okay. That was kind of like 2.5, right? Henry, time to shine. My biggest concern is all the liquid in the onion. It's going to make it kind of resistant to doing the crunching part. But we'll see, it might just need longer. Very oily. Every time I clean oil off of my skin, I think about cleaning oil off of penguins for some reason. I guess my hero complex is just acting up. All right. See how that does. I think it'll go pretty well, honestly. Saute the garlic butter mushrooms in a large skillet, then scoop into a casserole dish. Make the homemade gluten-free soup, then add to the casserole dish. Drain the green beans, then add the casserole dish. Add sprinkle of homemade salt, then stir and bake until bubbly. Pan fry the shallots into rings, then sprinkle on top and bake for another 5 minutes. Okay. Homemade cream of mushroom soup. Butter, garlic, mushrooms, homemade seasoned salt, green beans, shallots, extra virgin olive oil. I think she meant to put the green beans in with the soup part, but I understand how to make it. Yes, we will. It will be delightful. And it's not really so much soup as it is a roux. Really kind of depends on how much people enjoy the texture of mushrooms. In my experience, not a whole lot. So small bits. Such violent cutting. I have friends who are very meticulous when they dice, when they chop into small pieces. And I always horrify them with my approach of aggressively. I'm like, just make it smaller. That's the only goal. It doesn't have to be in perfect sized pieces. They don't all have to match. All you're doing is going from whole to diced. Like, it doesn't need to be in any sort of meticulous order. You don't have to but you know, it really just tickles the happy part of their brain to do it that way, and I get that. Plus, there are going to be big pieces that I miss when I do it this way. I just get so much more satisfaction out of it. Like, look at that giant pile. I did it! Oh, that smells good. That's a great sign. You want me to flip the food? What if the food isn't ready? Ready to me. Smells good though. this is too much mushroom. I've made a mistake. Or, and I like this better, this is simply too small of a casserole dish. I just don't like eating those little parts, but I also don't want to waste. The bean. Trying for some kind of middle ground. turn the food. Oh yeah. Oh hey, crunchy onion. You're like getting a little too crunchy. Little burned looking. Actually seems to be drying out though, which is nice. I mean, it is gonna get another bake when it goes all in with the rest of the casserole, so probably it's fine now to like take out, but I'll let it run a little bit longer. I don't want it to burn, but I think that's too late. I could have looked it up, but that would have taken such precious mental and emotional energy. I was like, fuck it, we'll try it with the popcorn tofu recipe and see what happens. I'll probably still eat it. I love burnt food, so I'm not worried. Like, the fuck is that? Oh, it's just cornstarch. Have less beans than shrooms, so this is turning into a mushroom casserole. But I just love casseroles, so I kind of don't care. Look at it, it's so good. It's gonna be delicious. Alright, that's probably enough out of you. Good. That's right. I love how casserole is just basically butter. I mean, it's not, but it is. Look at that, 100 calories of butter right there. And that is the least of the butter we are going to use. Oh no, we will use the whole thing. Sweet. Yeah, red pepper. Mm, 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 mm. that's the time when all the moisture in the onion is actually going to be useful rather than annoying. Help me cook these beans. Onion, help a brother out. Yeah, I want them to get kind of mushy because of all the texture issues presented by fresh green bean casserole. I'm just gonna crack you in there and boil. I love green bean casserole. Oh my god. My meal prep plans for this month are completely holiday themed. In the sense that I'm making casseroles. A lot of casserole. Casseroles and noodles. I'm like, yes, it's winter. It's casserole season. Even if it's not particularly wintry in the sense that I'm used to growing up. I have, in the last 10 years, gotten rather used to this type of winter. And, gosh, what was I going to say? Gosh, I don't know. Casseroles also last longer and are great for meal preps. Of course, people know that. That's what you bring to people who are mourning, so they don't have to cook for themselves. What a beautiful human ritual. So thoughtful, so caring. I guess the way we do casseroles in the winter is a little bit similar to that. Although I think it probably has more to do with the availability of fresh food than it does the mourning of the lack of light. But I could see it. You know, we all get some seasonal depression, right? I know I'm mourning the lack of light. Although there's plenty. I I made one of those silly grocery store decisions where, you know, you buy something that you hadn't actually planned to buy because it looks good, and some part of your brain is like, oh, actually we need it. And yeah, it was like an orange, well, a couple oranges. I was in the fresh produce area, and I was just like, some part of my brain was like, you need citrus. You have not had citrus at all in a while. And before, you were sneaking citrus into your diet via alcohol by like just shoving some lime or, you know, something in there along with drinking. But if you're not drinking, and how are you getting citrus? And of course, my easily suggestible animal brain was like, yeah, you're right, I should just buy some oranges. So I bought oranges, and I'm just not actually finding them appetizing at all whatsoever. I'm like, surely there's other ways of getting citrus. I don't think I'm getting scurvy yet. How do other people get citrus? And I just went down this huge rabbit hole of like, most people are not eating raw oranges or limes or lemons in large capacities, so how are other people getting their citrus? And I'm like, oh, it's vitamin C that's so important, I think. And I'm like, oh, I have that in packet form, so it's really no big deal. But now that I have 2 oranges I don't know what to do with, I looked up a recipe for orange bread, because of course I did. And it's actually pretty simple, so I'm gonna make that for my dessert this week. Kind of change things up from the basics that I've been getting down via the, I think I'll save this for fried rice. I feel like that's gonna come in useful. But yeah, the orange bread. What, you think I should use almond garlic? Well, I mean, maybe. Ooh! Nice. Looking great. Going. Yeah, alright, we'll use this. I can always get more garlic for the fried rice. It's only 50 cents a bulb. Only. Garlic is so expensive. Fresh garlic is so good for you, and it's so expensive. It drives me crazy. It drives me so crazy. Okay. And this is definitely way more involved than the average green bean casserole recipe. Obviously, that one you take a can of Campbell's cream of mushroom soup, and you dump it in with some canned green beans, put some French's crunchy onion on top, and bake it for like 30 to 40 minutes. It is one of the quickest and easiest holiday additions, and if you are crunched for time, or don't know or don't want to cook, don't know how or don't want to cook, but you need to bring something to the potluck or whatever, that is my wreck. This is the deconstruction and reconstruction of the same thing. Well, the soup part is actually going to be just entirely different. We are not Campbell's in any sense in this house. But no, I won't say but whatever. I'm glad that entertains so many people though. But whatever. Says some profound shit, but whatever. Dropping real truth bombs, but whatever. Super happy to have been entertaining in that sense. Or whatever. Definitely one of my favorite. I don't know what that's called. Ways of talking? Means of oration. It's definitely not a rhetoric. Not ruse. Why did I want to say rhetoric? Ruse just because of the alliteration? To my knowledge, that's not a particular looking just divine. Smelling vaguely burnt. More steam. More steam. I wish this was sealed or capable of sealing, but alas. Not but whatever, but alas. Devices was the word I was looking for. It's not like a, maybe it's a literary device. But whatever. What would you call that? Definitely thinking too hard. Turns of phrase, but it's not so much the turn of phrase, it's the part where you say something super profound and intense and then brush it off as though it was nothing. I don't know if there's a word for that, but it's something I do all the time. It's just way too much pressure or work or anxiety inducing to acknowledge the level of profundity of my own thoughts every time they happen, because they are happening all the time. I used to tamp it down and shut myself up because I just didn't want to deal with the way people looked at me, honestly. But I'm learning to have a bit more self-love and acceptance on that. I just never wanted to be super different from others, and I really don't think that I am. I think people self-limit because they imagine that there is some sort of inherent and intense distinct difference of intelligence or knowing or empathy or whatever. We're all so much more similar than we are different, and we're all very, very similar in capacity for the most part. It's just a question of whether or not you actually believe you're capable. And most people self-limit in ways that are just deeply depressing. So I don't really think I'm that unique or special, except for the fact that I try not to self-limit. But try telling that to the rest of the world, huh? Oh yeah, that's looking great. There's definitely going to be a higher than average amount of char on this casserole. But I might have mentioned I do enjoy carbon, so cheers to that. Why did I do that? Why did I do it that way? Okay. Huh. I guess that actually could have fit in the smaller one. Well, we'll see. That texture, right? That's great. I love mushrooms. I'd written it down and everything. It just cracks me out. I don't know why. I'm just so predictably consistent about these kinds of things. Of course, past Cody got mad at the lack of nutritious content and green casserole, and almost certainly the crunchy onion thing. Although last time I know for a fact I did not try to recreate crunchy onion. Not what I'm doing this time. Not to eat all of it before it goes into the casserole. Actually kind of hard. mushroom and garlic part of the mushroom sauce. This really is such an intricate thing to make from scratch. I wouldn't even be mad at Campbell's or any canning company if I could feel good about the process. But of course I cannot feel very good about the process. Right, butter. Like last time, kind of a 1-to-1 ratio of butter, flour, New Hope. Is ideal. All right, that looks perfect. Like almost too perfect. What am I doing wrong? Okay. Too much steam. Really? Rut-row indeed. Alright. There we go. Oh, look at that. Wow. Perfect. Just so good. Oh, that's a roux, alright. Probably not yet, huh? I forget how long the roux takes. It's a long time. Especially if you want the clumps to unclump. Funny how inaccessible flour is for working with sometimes. I
Like, I've experienced it even after, you know, plenty of lived experiences working with flour. It's just, it's a, what's the word? It is a binding agent, but that's not what I meant. Oh, it's a thickener. It's a thickener. Wheat germ is a thickener. That's why you put the flour in there. But it needs something to bind to, which is why you put the butter in there. And you bind it first before you add all the liquids, so that the liquid simply thins out the thing that is so thick. And then by the end, you're supposed to have a very non-clumpy gravy. Oh, and if you noticed, we used vegetable broth this time, vegetable stock. Very excited by the idea of making my own vegetable stock. I know that would be the obvious solution rather than going to my neighbor's composters, just kind of storing up my vegetable bits and then turning it into stock. That really is my next evolution in the kitchen. But I need the focus, and that is currently escaping me. I gotta stop eating the green beans. But like, do I? patience is once again going to turn this roux into a clumpy mess. But you know, it was delicious last time, even as a clumpy mess. Hard to teach myself patience when my failures are so tasty. Single time I make a stabbing motion, I hear, I think it was Hollywood Undead, but I hear the emo song in my head. The Suffocate Me Dry concert, Stabby McStab Stab. I used to have it memorized. I don't know if I still do. I'm an emo kid. I'm non-conforming as can be. You'd be non-conforming too if you look just like me. I have paint on my nails and makeup on my face. I'm almost emo enough to start shaving my legs. I shaved my legs today. Very proud of myself. Emo. I don't jump around when I go to shows. I must be emo. I'm dark and sensitive with low self-esteem. The way I dress makes every day feel like Halloween. Fucking love emo kids. Good job being emotionally sensitive. And proud of it. Stole my sister's mascara and I'm grounded for a week. Smoking and writing poetry are my hobbies. That was me. I can't get through a Hawthorne Heights album without sobbing. I only know one Hawthorne Heights song. I was not as emo as my friends. They were always braver than me. Terrified of my own emotions, if I'm gonna be real. Somebody admiringly called me a stoic the other month, and I didn't have the heart to be like, I don't think that's a good thing. As I get older, I'm trying to be more in touch with my emotions, not less. But I guess there are always times when stoicism can be called for or useful. Yes. That song's gonna be in my head the rest of the day, guarantee it. Just keep breaking up with me. It's never any fun. Well, I feel like that's a problem with the girls. Maybe they're not emotionally mature enough to handle emotionally in tune people. Which is hilarious since they're the ones giving all the emo credit, I guess, in day-to-day relating. Women are the ones with feelings. Usually too many feelings, according to our society. Pretty fucked up and backwards. was always too afraid to go to shows too. I mean, I went to shows. The first ever concert I went to, I think, was In Sync. It was too loud. I cried through the whole thing. I was deeply depressed actually about that because I thought I was going to enjoy it, obviously. My mom thought so too. I'm pretty sure Britney Spears was even there. I think it was both. I might just be making that up though. She was so cool. She still is. I worry about her. I hope she's doing alright. She's healing. She deserves it. When I was in elementary school, I designed this entire song and dance routine around Sometimes by Britney Spears off the One More Time album. It was for a talent show in second grade, I think. Just a classroom talent show, not even school-wide or anything, but man, I practiced all weekend. I was really excited. And then I get up there and I just get stage fright so bad. So bad. It didn't help that my second grade teacher was kind of a bitch, but I forgive her. Yeah, huge stage fright. And what did I end up doing? Oh, I ended up singing. I had recently been obsessed with the movie version of Oliver Twist, the musical. And so I stood and very awkwardly sang Papa from that song. I don't know if that's actually, or from that musical. I don't know if that's what it's called, but I just really, I just stood there and awkwardly went, Papa, Papa, everyone knows there's a little ditty they're singing in the city. And yeah, it was really embarrassing. It was really awful too. I should have just done the Britney Spears song. At least I had practiced it. It would have been better. But I was too embarrassed. I was like, no, I can't show them the thing I worked really hard on. I have to show them this other thing that I did off the cuff. And it really didn't go well, honestly. But I learned something about stage fright, I guess. Mostly that I don't like being on stage. Okay, this is looking very cream of mushroom now. Hooray. smaller casserole dish, but that's okay. We're already here. Could have gone with more crunchy onion, more onion. Oh yeah. God, that's so much better than the pre-made stuff. Holy shit. Wow, what a difference. It shouldn't be that crazy different, but it really is. Okay. Oven is preheated, and in we go. 30 minutes ought to do it. Probably less, honestly.